when the person asking to sit in the most respected seat in our country imitated a disabled reporter, some outranked in privilege, power, and the capacity to fight back. And this instinct to humiliate, when it's modeled by someone in the public platform.
It was a night of glitz, glamour, and grand gestures at the Golden Globes. But amidst the sea of designer gowns and flashing cameras, one moment stood out like a lightning bolt in a clear sky. When the incomparable Meryl Streep took the stage to accept her Cecil B. DeMille Award, the air crackled with anticipation. Little did the unsuspecting audience know, they were about to witness the unraveling of one of the most powerful egos in America. Streep, with her trademark poise and grace, delivered a speech.
You and all of us in this room really belong to the most vilified segments in American society right now. Think about it. Hollywood, foreigners, and the press.
That was part heartfelt tribute, part scathing rebuke. And at the center of her crosshairs? None other than the soon-to-be President of the United States, Donald Trump. Please don't forget to subscribe and like this video. It is free and help us bring you enjoyable content. And of course, watch till the end. In her eloquent yet biting words, Streep called out Trump's infamous mocking of a disabled reporter, a moment that had once again revealed the ugliness that lurks beneath the veneer of his manufactured persona. This instinct to humiliate, when it's modeled by someone in the public platform, it filters down into everybody's life. She lamented,
"It's embarrassing and it's terrifying to put the target on your forehead, and it sets you up for all sorts of attacks and armies of brown shirts and bots and worse. And the only way you can do it is to feel you have to. You have to. You don't have an option. You have to. Stand up, speak up, act."
Her voice steady yet tinged with a righteous fury. The reaction was instantaneous. Trump's loyal army of Twitter trolls sprang into action, their chubby fingers flying across the keyboards in a desperate attempt to discredit the woman who had dared to challenge their dear leader. Overrated, they screeched, as if volume alone could drown out the uncomfortable truth. No one watches her movies anymore, they wailed, conveniently forgetting that Streep's filmography.
Meryl Streep had some strong words for Donald Trump during her acceptance speech at the Golden Globes.
And conservatives don't seem to have an abundant supply of that these days. Okay, now then when she turned to Trump, she never said Trump, but it was obviously what she was talking about. Trump keeps denying that he did it to the reporter, but we've shown you the video 1,000 times.
We have the video for you.
Here.
It's like a who's who of cinematic masterpieces. But Streep had struck a nerve, and the fallout was about to be both hilarious and horrifying to behold. Within minutes, the Orange One himself was rage tweeting like,
"How are you?
I have a lot of money, and I built a lot of walls.
What are you doing here?"
I'm going to be signing a national emergency, and it's been signed many times before.
So you don't read Runway?
No, because you have an agenda, and you're fake news.
You have no style or sense of fashion?
It should have been better. And you know what?
No. That wasn't a question.
like a petulant child, his words spilling forth in a torrent of misspelled vitriol. Meryl Streep, one of the most overrated actresses in Hollywood, doesn't know me but attacked last night at the Golden Globes. She is a. He began, only to trail off into a series of increasingly unhinged rants that were as incoherent as they were unintentionally comedic. It was as if Trump had been possessed by the ghost of a middle school bully, hurling insults and accusations with all the subtlety of a sledgehammer to the face. I was never mocking anyone, he insisted, despite the overwhelming visual evidence that proved otherwise. I can do any accent better than her, he boasted, as if that were some sort of qualification for the presidency. The sheer desperation in his responses was almost palpable.
By a nice reporter. Now the poor guy, you got to see this guy. Oh, I don't know what I said. I don't remember. He's going like, I don't remember. Oh, maybe that's what I said. This is 14 years ago. They didn't do a retraction.
A clear indication that Streep had struck a nerve far deeper than anyone could have anticipated. Here was a man who had built his entire public persona on the idea of being a no-nonsense truth-teller, finally confronted with the undeniable reality that he was nothing more than a fragile, insecure bully, lashing out at the slightest provocation. And the internet, ever the playground for the gleefully mischievous, erupted in a frenzy of memes, GIFs, and scathing commentary. Photoshops of Trump's signature coiffure morphed into increasingly absurd creations, while legions of comedians eagerly awaited their chance to skewer the thin-skinned demagogue. But amidst the cacophony of laughter and outrage, a more sobering realization began to take hold. Streep's words had not just exposed the pettiness of Trump's ego, they had also laid bare the fragility of the democratic principles he was poised to oversee. This instinct to humiliate, when it's modeled by someone in the public platform, it filters down into everybody's life, Streep had warned. And as the world watched Trump's meltdown unfold in real time, the chilling implication became clear. If the most powerful man in the free world was this easily rattled by the mere words of an actress, what hope did the rest of us have in the face of his wrath? The silence in the room was deafening, save for the sound
this morning, but there is new fallout from that showdown between him and Meryl Streep. ABC's David Wright has all the details. Good morning, David.
Good morning, George. Donald Trump is clearly still fuming over that speech, and Meryl Streep is in good company. Trump almost seems to be at war with Hollywood these days. And the question now, will they pay a price? After all, they've made an enemy of the man who's about to be president.
When the powerful use their position to bully others, we all lose.
Meryl Streep
sound of one very orange man probably launching his phone across a gold-plated room. Meryl Streep had dropped a truth bomb so heavy, it probably set off a minor earthquake at Mar-a-Lago. The sheer weight of reality was doing.
Meryl Streep took Trump to task, among other things, for mocking a New York Times reporter with a disability. Trump denies he did it, but judge for yourself.
You got to see this guy. Oh, I don't know what I said. I don't remember.
It kind of broke my heart when I saw it, and I still can't get it out of my head because it wasn't in a movie. It was real life.
Something truly terrifying, forcing people to think. And if there's one thing someone has spent years avoiding, it's people using their brains. Because the moment you put a target on your forehead and stand up to speak the truth,
you have perhaps the most highly regarded actress of her generation making an outright plea to people in Hollywood to remain vigilant and to defy.
Donald Trump may dismiss Streep now as one of the most overrated actresses in Hollywood, but just 2 years ago he called her work excellent. It's only prompted her fans to make this hashtag trend: things Trump thinks are overrated. Actress Emmy Rossum tweeted, taxes, audio recordings, factual information, spelling. Another listed Hamilton, Jon Stewart, Jerry Seinfeld.
Truth, you open yourself up to all sorts of attacks. The armies of brown shirts, the bots, the worse. But Streep had no choice. She had to stand up, she had to speak up, she had to act. For in that moment, she had become the embodiment of a fundamental truth, the only
If there's one thing that you could say about Meryl Streep, it is that she is not overrated. I mean, that's like saying Gandhi isn't a good statesman. Martin Luther King, not a good speechmaker.
Right.
I mean, if you look up great actress in the encyclopedia, you will see Meryl Streep's face there. And she's better than any of them. Brando, any of them who've ever, but she's the best actress who's ever, or actor who's ever lived. So to say she's overrated just shows that you don't understand acting.
There are some days when I myself think I'm overrated.
Nothing more terrifying to an insecure man than a strong, intelligent woman is one who is willing to call him out in front of an audience that actually knows how to read. And the panic must be setting in somewhere in the depths of Trump's gold-drenched lair, as his team of PR people scrambles to put out a fire they definitely.
If we live through this precarious moment, if his catastrophic instinct to retaliate doesn't lead us to nuclear winter, we will have much to thank this president for, because he will have woken us up to how fragile freedom really is.
Did not sign up for. Because what do you do when one of the greatest actresses of all time calls you out, not with wild accusations or tabloid nonsense, but with actual facts? You flail, you deflect, and you hope that yelling it loud enough somehow makes reality disappear. But this time, the truth refuses to be silenced. Meryl Streep has fired the opening salvo in what promises to be an epic battle for the soul of a nation. And as the dust settles, the world waits with bated breath, wondering what other secrets Streep might have unearthed about Trump's finances, his hair, his spray tan, or perhaps even something so jaw-droppingly absurd that even his most loyal followers are forced to pause and say, "Wait, what?" The stage is set, the battle lines drawn. And in one corner, standing tall and unafraid, is Meryl Streep, a beacon of truth in a world that so desperately craves it. In the other, a man whose entire existence is built upon the crumbling foundations of lies, bluster, and a fragile ego that is about to be shattered beyond repair. So, dear viewers, prepare yourself for the reckoning. For the truth is coming, and it will shake the very ground upon which this presidency stands. And when the dust finally settles, we will all be left to wonder, what other secrets has Meryl Streep uncovered, and how will they forever change the course of history?